Namaste everyone and welcome. I have a question for you. Are you ready? So the question is, who's your best friend? I repeat that again. Who's your best friend? And the question continues. Who's your best friend and who's your enemy? I repeat the question again and the entire line. I'm just playing a bit, but just wanted to get a little bit more deeper understanding of the topic today. Before that, we have to contemplate this question. I repeat the question again. Who's your best friend and who's your enemy? Okay, so the word call, it's been like almost like 2 weeks I've been sticking on this word. Pretty good about to do this talk. The word is Uddhared. 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 It means lift yourself. Literally like lift yourself up from the, I would say, much more easiest way in saying from the lower to the higher. And also rise or raise yourself up. I can give you one example. You know, mountaineers or people who go for, no, I don't say hike, the mountaineers. When they climb the mountain, they mount and, they nail the hooks. You try to look at my movement so you might understand what I'm trying to explain. Just like they climb, climb, and climb. And what happens ultimately, he gradually reaches up. But if you feel like stuck, if you feel like exhausted, if you feel like tired, or if you feel like you're stopped by something, or maybe you're not concentrated, pause and relax. But don't go down. Or you give up or something. So why I'm saying this, there is this lower to the higher. So the point is, Uddhared is to lift yourself up, gradually going upwards. In Sanskrit, it's like they literally say that self-effort. It can quite close to this Uddhared, to literally lift yourself up, and it's more comes to the concentration, more of the dhyana yoga, more of the meditation. For example, in the meditation, like even the science proved that people who meditate constantly, they make better decisions. Rational thinking, irrational thinking. We often struggle with this because of we have taken away by thoughts, emotions, and the list goes on. Anger, jealousy, lust, greed, color, culture, all this now, you kind of like, you merge yourself mostly into the material world, right? So the many things can make you feel so confused and you don't know what to do. So Uddhared is, I felt like lift yourself up by yourself. So you can be your best friend by training the mind, staying that constant self-effort to lift yourself up from lower to higher. But a spiritual aspirant, you're not going to climb up in one day. Even you learn philosophy of wisdom, it takes time to go gradually, one at a time, like the mountaineer. Nail. Okay, so I would like to add one more in this Uddhared word. It's to Uddhared, like take away from all these thoughts and emotions that bothering you and raise yourself higher. So let us talk about these great things, noble things. Even spending time with the people that, high and low, mid-range, people who discuss ideas, people who discuss people who discuss events, people who discuss creative things. You can choose where you are, in what circle you are. So discussing to lift yourself up, the great things, the creative ideas also can help you out, not only just meditating and also in your real world, the reality material world, to continue to move forward, to lift yourself up. So the question, you can see it's kind of like you're getting there. Who's your best friend? Of course it's you. Who's your enemy? Of course it's you. But we often taken away by this crazy thinking. So Also, from bad company to good company. Uddhared. You have like group of some people who are dark, or bad company, or the relationship or friendship, or even in the office environment, or the working area, or even you do any kind of thing, like you have this bad company around, you're like kind of in the lower ground. So this is where the spirituality comes, the philosophy comes. Uddhared. From bad company to lift yourself up to good company, or change. I know, sometimes change is inevitable, but change for good. It's hard because we often don't want to change, because our mind has that, it's like a wild horse running everywhere. So you need to tame the mind, like literally train the mind. It's like the chariot metaphor I mentioned earlier. The driver must not be drunk. He or she should know how to drive the chariot, means the intellect. Intellect, how you will be intellect? Just reading scriptures, studying yoga, practicing asana, pranayama, dhyana, any practice you do, anything. I'm not saying just yoga. You can add in anything, because this ancient wisdom is very directive, and yet it meets the modern reality. So once again, Uddhared. Lift yourself up. And the answer sometimes, it's deeper than us. Also, in order to lift ourselves, we often consult our friends. Like, let's say you have 10 friends, or 1,000 friends, or you have 1 or 2 good friends, or you don't have friends. You take advices, you take suggestions, you take things that, but they have their own wisdom, they have their own idea about approaching things. But when you deeply, you meditate, actually the answer is within us. You take like 10 suggestions, 10, people feedback, and you take it. Of course, you kind of can analyze, but your mind is going in 10 different directions. Once again, you need to see that where you felt stopped and where you feel stuck, and what makes you feel that. And it only can burn your karma, or burn this samskara, with this like deep meditation, or chakra meditation, or kundalini meditation, the many meditation that you can practice. So ultimately what you look for, the nirvana, kaivalya, or moksha, or samadhi in yoga. So these are like completely talks about the freedom in the mind. So learn to control the mind. Now I'd like to quote the Gita verse from the chapter 6, which is the Dhyana Yoga. It's more talks about the meditation, mostly the concentration, the one-pointed direction, like you're anchoring the mind going towards one direction. Once again, Uddhared, to lift yourself up. So let's get into it. Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadatayet atmai vahyomatna bandhur atmai vairupa ratmanha. I'll repeat that again, and sorry. Atmai varipu ratmanaha. Uddhared. So beautiful. This one of the translations means elevate. Elevate, like you take elevator, right? Let's say you're going back home, you live in the top floor, or you live in even a 3rd or 5th, 4th, 5th floor. You basically take an elevator. You go up, you lift yourself up, or you walk up. Means there is an elevation. So elevate yourself through the mind, through the self, and do not degrade yourself. Asavadayet atma eva. It means like you do not degrade yourself. It's kind of like uplift yourself by yourself. Do not deprecate or degrade, because when let me just put it in a more easiest way. How do I explain that? Oh, I'm so good. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, I've been insulted. Oh, I've been praised. Or I'm angry, or I'm not angry. You often have this mind activity. So there is like a lower self-esteem, I would say. I don't know, maybe my hand is in the right direction or not. You guys have kind of figured out. Like I'm talking about like this positive, negative. Sometimes you feel highly motivated. Sometimes you feel less motivated. Even in your asana practice. Today you're so energetic, you're going to do boom, full asana practice. Boom. But the other day you will be like, okay, I'm just going to sit in Sukhasana. I'm going to close my eyes. Or you do pranayama. Or I'm just going to do restorative yoga and then relax. Or I do nothing. So, you have this, uplift and sometimes like degrade or decrease in the energy level. So, he says that just like this mountaineer metaphor, if you can use, you kind of find that balance, samatva, equanimity. I talked about earlier. Yoga asa karma asha kausalam. Yoga is in skill in action. You do skillfully, effortless, like at ease. Samyama, inner journey to understand our mind. So these can help you to find that balance. And obviously you'll be like a mountaineer, like tick, tick. You're not going down. And I can tell a story about going up in the mountain. I had a hike last year, probably. Last year, like before last year, a couple of with my friends, and I went up the mountain. One of my friends literally shouldn't walk up. Mohe, I mean that. It's literally saying that mohe means I can't breathe or something like that in Chinese, and mtaka means like I can't. I was like, you can. I was just being like a guru or teacher, like a leader or lead. Let's go, we're gonna walk up. We were like in the downstairs and just walk up. They were like almost like, I would say like 15 floors just to climb up. It's been a long time that she didn't do workouts or any kind of thing, so it just felt heavy. And of course, the heart rate, body mass, it's a different story. But I'm keep on like leading her, and then finally when I take her the middle, I start to feel tired. I need to save my energy too, right? So, but after that she took, and then I can, and then so here it shows that a guru also like can lead you, but you have to do the work, and they will be there to guide you, but you have to uplift yourself, elevate yourself. One at a time. If you feel tired, you can't make it, take one step today. But don't stay there. So my ultimate point is that the story shows that don't stay there. So it is good to, you can see that, lift yourself up, uplift yourself up. And don't point yourself or don't degrade yourself. I am this, I'm that. You're always a newborn. I mentioned in my podcast, I said, every day you're like born like a new baby, or like a piece of white paper has written nothing. It is difficult, but we can try to train the mind and learn to control the sense organs. I can give like 3 steps here. If it's just like sense organs, like you're tasting, looking at things, feeling things, sense organs, okay? You can do like a pratyahara just to control sense withdrawal. In the mind, meditation. And you can see the third one, it can be like the intellectual, like reading the scriptures. And then, so you have to see, let's say, okay, I'll make it probably through like this. So you have the intellectual here, you have the sense organs here, but your mind is here. So you have to train your mind which direction it's going. Either the intellectual way, or the sense organ, means like the external way. Is it internal or external? Or you're finding the balance called viveka, means the right discrimination, or the keen discernment is a right word to express viveka in Sanskrit. Viveka, it's like knowing what is right, knowing what is wrong, but you're not judging this thing. You're like totally aware. You're like totally aware. Sita prajnaka bhasha samadhista chakeshava. I say this line again and again because Arjuna asked, the warrior asked the charioteer, how the person will be if he has a wisdom, who or she. He simply says like, He doesn't shake. He stays there. He knows what it is. Because I also heard one of a great yoga mentor, Yoga Prasad, he said you got nothing to lose, you got nothing to prove. I repeat this line again. It says that when you got nothing to lose, when you got nothing to prove, you know what I mean? So you're all right, okay, let's go ahead. You'll just continue moving forward. And there's also this attitude can help a lot to lift yourself up, but not creating enemy to yourself or not being kind to your mind. So being friends with the mind is very helpful. So if you can't go, if you don't know where to go, you give it a pause, get some clarity, then you start going forward. And if you're here, don't go down. You know what I mean? So if you don't know how to go, what you go find a guru, a bona fide guru, a lead, a teacher, or anything that you like, a friend you can talk to. And even I would say practicing yoga, it really gives you a lot of clarity. Trust me, it's helped me a lot. So if you don't know where to go, you're not clear the path, or you don't know how to lift up yourself, stay there. Literally, just stay there. It's okay to take a rest. It's okay to pause. It is okay to stop for a while. But don't go down. Uddhared. I repeat this again. Uddhared. To lift yourself up, but don't degrade yourself. That's what he said. So, work on that thing. Mind, which way it's going, the intellect or the sense organs, desires, we have to train that mind, in a very right manner. We have to treat very, very, very kindly, but not forcefully. Because if you treat your mind forcefully, it gets rebellious, rebel, ugh. Okay, you're telling me don't. Even somebody said don't, and you will be looking at that. Even say, I don't want, but you'll be thinking of that. You would say here, but here? So you have to really because the mind has this power also to calm, also to stay. And also it can play so many tricks that you don't even know what you're doing. So it's very important to do the self-effort. Uddhared. Self-effort to lift yourself up, and also it should be done more intellectually and intelligently, slowly and steadily. Okay, so when we do this kind of when we carry this kind of attitude, any task we do, I'm not just saying a yoga practice, even in any work you do, even you're running forward, you felt tired, or you're swimming in the swimming pool, you're out of breath. Wait. Catch your breath. Start again. Oh, you're cycling. Ugh. Back is tired. Go slowly. But the matter is, you didn't stop. You didn't go down. You stopped there, but you're constantly moving. And that matters. Uddhared. That matters. That really matters. So, I can go on and on. This topic just makes me feel it's sometimes you feel in your life you fall down so badly, upside down, and sometimes you think your world went literally upside down, and you have no hope, and you have nothing to work on, how the future will be, and it's all these questions. I believe you and I have these questions most of the time, because we're just these deep creatures and yet shallow creatures, and we have the power to change. So my friend, take it slowly, one at a time, like climbing the mountain. Feel tired? Pause, start again, but don't go down. Don't go down. Lift yourself up. So I would say, in a spiritual way, we should see our progress. Like when you do asana or you do study, any philosophy, any you study, there's a progress, right? So when you look back, you're like the climbing the mountain. or you're like the guy whose walks constantly moving forward. You see there's a progress when you look back, but if you look back and you're still here, you're stuck. So I suggest, like, if you feel burnout by working so hard, take a rest, get a good holiday, don't do anything, but start again. Start, like, literally refresh and restore and start again. And so what happens is, like, when we look back at a stage where a few years from now, we should see a spiritual progress, not further degradation in our life. Degradation, so it doesn't pull us down. So the final point is, like any undertaking, we have to lift ourselves by our own efforts. Like, we are our own friend if we do so, and if we don't, we become our own enemy. In other words, our success and failure entirely in our own hands, and no other person can help you out. Only you can help yourself. And that makes the whole point to be friend with yourself. Don't point yourself. Don't be enemy with yourself. Resentment is like drinking poison. You know what is resentment? It's like your hatred or jealousy or anger are due to some kind of, like, the wrongly expressed or the event or trauma or anything it caused. Or you hate, like, anger or hate or like anything, like lust, or you want more, you want this power, you want these things. Resentment is like drinking poison, but you're hoping that other person dies. This is the whole sentence. Resentment is like drinking poison, but you hope that the other person dies. You know, somebody throw the stone on you, like, bam! You might forget another day. But somebody said something, ooh, can't sleep all night. The other day, you'll be like probably looking at the mobile, your brain is somewhere, you'll be doing something. You know, in Dharmapada, especially Buddhist texts, they mention with alive with this ancient Vedic philosophy. So if somebody like did something, you might forget, but somebody says something, you know, tongue is a very dangerous part for yogi. So you must learn how to control. Now let us end up with this beautiful verse, the chapter 6 and 6th verse from the Gita. It's a very final touch. Let me recite to you. Bandhur atmat manastasya yenatmai vatmana jitaha anat manastu shatrutve varte tatmaiva shatrutvat. It's simply, I can tell you, for those who conquer the mind, it is their friend. Means simply, when you conquer your mind, like when you learn how to control your mind, you become a friend with your mind, or you become a friend with yourself. So you don't have this, these four things: anger, lust, jealousy, and hatred. These are like poisons for the mind. They will be literally, boom. Raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes. Hatred or running love, what you're towards. Like these attachments will, like, boom. It takes time. Give it a time. I always say this word. Just give it a time. Just give it a time. Take it slowly and steadily, intellectually and intelligently, with that focus. Uddhared, to lift yourself up from where you are. Okay, so don't feel stuck. Okay, so I want you to get up and do some work now. So for those who have failed to do so, the mind works like an enemy. When you even look at yourself in the mirror, you're not happy. People around you will be just literally hammering yourself, or you feel like you're cursed or something. So for those who have conquered the mind, it is their friend. And for those who have failed to do so, the mind works like an enemy. And the biggest enemies are those I mentioned, those emotions. So you have to get rid of them, because they're like demons, Recently I learned about these 6 realms of the karma. Probably next time I'll discuss about those. It taught me how to burn your karmas and samskaras, and how to be more like an elevated person. Because actually this talk is actually kind of linked to that. Yeah, so I mean, I will discuss about it probably in the next topic. So remember, people, we all know people who had everything favorable in the world, but we lived miserable lives because our own mind sometimes, like, is, tormented them, like, incessantly through depression, hatred, tension, and anxiety and stress. So you must have that ability to train your mind to control and to conquer the mind. Okay? Sometimes the illness, or you get sick, or you feel tired, not because of the bacteria or virus. It's here. It's just this negative thoughts, like, they're like kind of like, they, like, it's just as I said, like somebody like throw the stone on you, and the thought, or the say something on you, like the thought. So you must have this self-control. It is very important to have self-control. And I would like to end this talk with a beautiful quote by former President of America, Mr. Franklin D. Roosevelt. He said, it's very close to what Krishna said in Gita, men are not prisoners of fate. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. So, it's like, it shows that, you just have to, that Uddhared, to lift yourself up. Let me tell you something. Life is unpredictable. Future is like the closed book. Past is like the one of the book that you don't want to open. But your past is a reference. Your future maybe can work with the past reference by opening your present book, which is in front of you, which is to do your work by living in the presence. And you have to do it consciously. I'll repeat this again. You have to do your best consciously. Yoga is a karmaja kausalam. It's like yoga is a skill in action. It's like the art of working with this style, with like this effortless samatva, added balance and the equanimity between your thoughts, speech, and action. And I'm sure you will find a way. Do as best as you can. Once again, do as best as you can at any situation. And trust me, my friend, it's going to take your lead forward. And when you look back, you will realize, wow, I have come this far. Uddhared. Uplift yourself. Don't degrade yourself. Okay? So I'll see you in the next topic. For now, I would say Namaste and Hari Om Tat Sat. Uddhared.